Hello, welcome to this video on Dhammapada, chapter 5, verse 12, verse 71 in the consecutive numbering. I will call up the text for you. Here we are. Nahi papang katang kamang sajukiram vamuchati dahantam balamanuveti bhasmachanno vapavako. Again, nahi papang katang kamang sajukiram vamuchati dahantam balamanuveti bhasmachanno vapavako. The kammam, a karma, an act. Papang kammam, this word papa, which is both a noun, sometimes translated as sin, but more like any evil, and also an adjective, an evil thing. So a papang kammang is an evil deed, just a bad deed. The katam, from the root krit, meaning to do, Sanskrit krita, Pali kata, just means done. It's kind of superfluous here. It could be left out without altering the meaning. Nahi papang kammang sajju muchati, so the evil deed. So the papang katang kammam is like the evil done deed, or the evilly done deed. Then the na, very often in both Sanskrit and Pali, you find a na not at the beginning of the sentence. But normally the na would immediately before the verb. But you can very often put it for like poetic effect. Not indeed. It is not the case that. It's emphatic. In those cases, you will usually find that the na is followed by this particle he. Again, it's an emphatic modal particle. Not indeed. It is not the case that. Just emphasizes the not, and as I say, especially when it occurs at the beginning of a sentence. So the papang katang kammam, the literally evil or evilly done deed. This papam, by the way, could both be an adjective. It could also be an adverb, and the evil done deed, meaning the deed done in an evil way, the evilly done deed. So the papang katang kammam, the evilly done deed, na muchati, does not curdle. And it's the same idea here as the vipaka, even meaning as in ripening, the kamma vipaka, the ripening of kamma, where the deed is done. The kamma is, as it were, created, and then it ripens later. This curdling, the analogy of milk curdling, follows the same idea, the curdling, the ripening. So sajju, in Sanskrit it is sadhya, the same day. Let's look at this sadhya. So let me call up my iPad screen. Yeah. On that same day, sadhya, in Pali, sajju. And of course we look this, I'm not writing the English word dies, but the Latin dies, meaning a day, from which we get the, for instance, diurnal, your diurnal rhythm, your daily rhythm, so that dies and dia. So in Pali it becomes sajju, that's that same day. It's often used figuratively to mean immediately, as in your instant karma, for example. That It would be Sajju Muchantam Kammam, immediately the same day curdling kamma. This Mucheti is the to curdle. It's from the Mur, makes an actually Murcha in Pali, Mucha. To thicken, as in milk, it thickens when it curdles. And this mur, the hardening, the thickening, it's actually cognate with the word moron, as in thick. So here we have mur, murcha, muchati, moron, thick. So it does not curdle the same day. The idea is, well, we know, come out, do something evil, it may be quite a while before it catches up with you. So, nahi papam katang kambam sajju kiram vamuchati. Kira, kiram, neuter, is milk. And kiram va, it would be in Sanskrit. Sorry. It's a kshira. Kshiram. Partly I'm putting the M because it's a neuter noun. In Sanskrit it would be kshiram iva, like milk, and in Pali kiram va. This Sanskrit enclitic iva, meaning like, similarly to, can also be iva in Pali, but it's more often than not shortened to va. So kiramva, like milk. So in other words, it's saying here that milk does curdle on the same day. Kiram sajju muchati, the milk does curdle on the same day. But so this doesn't mean that in the same way that milk doesn't curdle on the same day, likewise karma doesn't curdle on the same day. No, what it's saying is that papam katankammam, an evilly done deed, does not curdle on the same day, nasajju muchati, and to that extent it is not like, it does not, as milk does, curdle on the same day. Dahantam palamanaveti bhasmachanno vapavako. You'll see that I've done a note on the. It's the in Sanskrit the root da, dahati. In Pali, this is what it is in Sanskrit. In Pali, you can have dahati with an ordinary dental da. That's the dental da. But also dahati. The D has just become retroflex. There we are. Dahati. Both forms are permissible in Pali. I think dahati is probably more common. Bear in mind that dahati always with a dental D also means to put, and it may be that for purpose of differentiation, then dahati with a retroflex came to mean more burning, and dahati with a dental D, although it can mean burns, means to put, mostly mean put. It's from the root dha. So dahantam is the present participle. It's neuter to agree with the kammam. So the kammam, your papang katang kammam, the evilly done deed. Dahantam, burning, that's the evil deed is burning. Balam anueti, it follows the fool. So burning, still burning, it follows the fool. Root I, and it makes, you need to go, and in the third singular, it makes eti, he, she, or it goes. So anu, eti, goes along with, follows. And by santi, it becomes anveti. Anu eti goes along with. So dahantam, burning, balam anveti, it follows the fool. And here again we have the va, which is the shortened form of iva, meaning like. Here we are. Like. Bhavako, a fire. Bhasma channo, ash covered. So bhasma is ash. The root chad means to cover, and it makes its past participle not with a da but with a na. So what we have, we're looking at Sanskrit now, but this bit is identical in Pali. So chad plus na, not plus ta for this particular verb. Many past participles in Sanskrit Pali have an n rather than a na ending rather than a ta ending, and this is reflected throughout the Germanic languages as well. In English, many of our past participles have end with an en, written, spoken, driven. I mean, so many, rather than the common regular ed. So chadna, the d merges with the n. By santi, the d changes to an. So that's where we get channa. So channa means covered. Covered with ash, bhasma channa, ash covered. It is a rule of santi in Sanskrit, usually but not always followed in Pali, that where you get a word ending in a short vowel, followed by a new word beginning with ch, that ch is always in Sanskrit, usually in Pali, doubled. So bhasma channa, the doubling of the ch, because this short vowel here, bhasma channa. And of course the same rule applies equally within a word. So bhasma channa is ash covered. Bhasma channova bhavako, nominative, like the va, iva, va, like the ash covered fire. So dahantam, burning, that's the kammam, burning follows the fool. Dahantam palamanveti, bhasma chandam bhavako, like bhavako, a fire, ash covered, covered with ash, and it can still be hot underneath. This bhavako, interesting word, there are various words for fire. Bhavaka. Originally in Sanskrit, this word meant bright or shining. In fact, all right, here we are back again. Bhavaka, originally in Sanskrit, means bright or shining, and then by extension, fire. In fact, it's from the root pu, meaning, cognate, in fact, with the Latin word purus and our word pure. So pure, bright, shining pu. So the bhavaka can also mean that which is bright and shining. Also, it could be construed to mean, in the meaning of fire, the purifier, the bhavaka. Anyway, here it just means fire in the ordinary sense. The more common word for fire, as you probably all know, in Sanskrit, agni, which in Pali becomes aggi. How can I get this? There we are. Aggi, agni and aggi. That's the Sanskrit and that's the Pali. And of course, cognate with the Latin word ignis, meaning fire, from which, for example, we get, ignite, ignition, firing up. It's from that same agni agi. So here we are. I will just go through it again with you. So dahantam, burning, present participle, balam anuveti. It follows the fool. Okay, we've used the word fool. It can, as we've discussed, it can mean the immature person, the undeveloped person. It follows the undeveloped person. Bhasmachanova pavako, like fire, bhasmachanno, covered in ashes. So I will read this for you slowly, twice more. Nahi papang katang kamang sajju kiramva vuchati dahantam balamanaveti bhasmachanova pavako. And once more. Nahi papang katang kamang sajju kiramva vuchati dahantam balamanaveti bhasmachanova pavako. And that concludes this verse.